great state of Illinois, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the second city of Chicago. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be our visitors taking on our home team. On the visiting sideline, their head coach. His guys already finding themselves in a pretty massive hole, 0-3 to start the new year. On the other side, the head coach of the home team. His guys ready to show out in front of the home fans as they try to send them home happy at the end of this one. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Run back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
Pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
At the 33-yard line.
And that catch, he just hit number 800 in his NFL career.
And just think, that puts you in top 35 range all-time in the NFL in terms of number of catches. One significant guy in that number, Shannon Sharp, who was a tight end. That's big-time play right there.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
Here's 2nd and 8. Looking middle, and that's complete. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1.
A gain of 7 yards. And it's
they'll try and sneak it here. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Give him 2 on the play there. And it'll be a Chicago first down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that is incomplete. This now play number 9 on the opening drive, but it's 3rd and long.
Makes it 3rd down and 12 yards to go.
Looking to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. They'll spot it at the 30, so this is a 40-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. They'll be led out by the former Buckeye, the young rookie QB from Ohio State.
And talk about someone who has absolutely lived up to his scouting report, because when we evaluated him coming out of school, everyone salivated over his big arm. He absolutely has a cannon. And this coaching staff, they're not going to be afraid, even in his rookie year, to let him air it out downfield and find out what he absolutely can do.
The numbers for him from a week ago, a boatload of catches, 73 yards. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
Well, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
And on now is the punter, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. They'll look to throw here on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up second and 2 at the 44-yard line.
On second down, they'll run it here. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 7 yards there and a first down.
A gain of 7. First down, Chicago.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And this time they were waiting for him, as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on second and 14. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. In motion goes the tight end. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. They're going to look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
At the 17-yard line.
Back to throw again. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 3rd and 4 now.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
He's got his target. That's complete. Touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0.
Visitors 10.
The 10-play drive that time. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early, as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is met at the the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
At the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Second and 10.
Well, you look at this defense. Against the pass, they're toward the middle of the league, number 15 in the NFL.
So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being topped?
They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a third and long.
10 yards on the play.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now fourth down.
It's fourth down.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on second down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. He certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there, trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough.
Personal foul, roughing in a kicker, defense.
That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough it, here's your bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
4 yards on the pickup.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter down, it's our home team with possession, as they are looking at a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Back to throw here. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10, as they've got things rolling on this drive. They'll drop the throw. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sand. And that'll bring up 3rd
down.
The drive had started well after a punt last time. Now it's slowed down a bit, and let's face it, they don't want to punt the ball in back-to-back series. They want a sustained drive on this one.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now back to throw. Incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He had the touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll search for another score as they begin here with a 1st and 10. Man in the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's a quick throw out left. That's caught. They'll come up 2nd and 7.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7. At the 40.
He'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. The offense on third down, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll go with a keeper. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Only a yard on the sneak, not enough. And he's a few inches short for 4th down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field.
Now, you know I don't often have sympathy for quarterbacks, but in this situation, I don't know what else he could do. 4th down, so he can't just throw the ball away. He's got to find a way to try and make a play, but the pressure ended up getting to him.
Pressure got to him. Really big sack and a turnover here on downs. Jet sweep to start the drive. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
36-yard line.
He'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late, and that way it's not formed perfectly. You got to make sure you hit it just right.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12 at the 27-yard line.
They'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22.
It's a gain of 6.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. That is caught at the 7. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. He'll look to throw here. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
The extra point splits the uprights. And we are even at 10 apiece. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on 4th, didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on 4th down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride the offense this go-around. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Here is 3rd and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 5.
He'll drop to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be shoved out, but not before he gets this down to the 20-yard line. So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10.
First down, Chicago.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two.
At the 22-yard line.
They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
That's a gain of 8. Makes it 3rd and 4.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Chicago offense set to get started. A little bit of flip the script. Quarter 1, they struggled. Quarter 2 here, they put things together. And I guess sometimes, Charles, you just come out and you have to get your feet underneath you in a ball game, right?
That's exactly right, because every now and then you don't come out of the gate as fast or as strong as you want to. Sometimes you have to ramp up into it or take a few hits along the way and figure it out. And that's what they've done so far. Slow start, but now they're starting to put it together.
They'll set up a throw. And he whips that one incomplete there. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
And 12 yards to go.
And this pass broken up. But the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Results in a 4th down.
And they'll send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 14 yards into Chicago, 1st down.
14. 1st down, Chicago.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage, because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and it'll be 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
At their own 8-yard line.
Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get in the field goal range. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
So they bring out their punter as he's on to punt for Chicago. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The tight end in motion right. They'll try and start this drive in the air. On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10.
It's 2nd down and 10.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards.
4-yard gain.
They'll give him 4 yards there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will do it for this first half. So halftime straight ahead. Let's get you down to the Sunshine State and Scott Hansen with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scott, we thank you as always, and we'll see what happens here in the second half. Both teams trying to find the right formula to come out with the victory. Nifty move. And takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So this offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but not establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Now an option play on 2nd down. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
On 1st down, they'll run it on the draw play. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
First and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On second down, they'll run it here. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to first and goal.
First and goal at the 8-yard line.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there. And it's second down.
Leads to second and goal.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And they'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
He was brought down at the 4-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup.
They'll look to throw on third and goal. And he couldn't square up to throw there, and it falls incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And his kick is good. And the lead is back down to 3 here at 16-13. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up a second down in just a couple.
Brings up second and 2.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Brings up third down and 2.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And it'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
First down, Chicago.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
The tackle made back at his 48-yard line.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
That's good.
A first down there on a pickup of 25.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Now he'll tuck this and run. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
19-yard line.
Here's a quick throw caught out wide. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line.
That's another first down. First and goal.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And it's caught. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And they are able to add on to their advantage. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
Looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys.
In trouble, and he's taken down. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That is caught. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Oh, look at the juke. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the 1st, right around the 15.
Again at 13 on the play. It's 4th down.
And his kick is good. So the big return had him fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a 1st down.
Gets around him. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the lot. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. They're going to keep it on the ground. And he is not going to get in there. He stopped short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is.
Our home team.
So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. They had the big play on the fumble return. They were looking for the 1-2 punch, but they couldn't get that 2-point conversion.
And I have to wonder, were they scheduled to go ahead and kick the extra point? But after a play like that, you talk about the 1-2 punch, right? It's a momentum play. Go for 2 and really try to capitalize, and that's what they attempted.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
They're going to look to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The 4th down pass play doesn't work out. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Out of bounds at the 17-yard line. 2 yards.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. They'll send the tight end in motion. He's got his target. That's complete. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
6-yard line.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On play action, they'll throw. And a little floater there is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 3rd down, goal to go from the 8. And they'll get him down here about the 5-yard line. It's about a 3-yard pickup there, but more importantly, they're still a few yards away here. It's now 4th down and goal.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, That's a big day.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Chicago offense set to get started. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 35-yard.
2nd and 3. Now he's going to step up and run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
46-yard line.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and 1. Back to throw here. Now he'll tuck this and run. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting the lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
2nd and 7 from the 20.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 66 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And the ball is knocked out.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Back to throw. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd down.
2nd and 5. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. 2nd and 9. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Now back to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
39-yard line.
They've kept him in check until that run. That's the first time he's really gotten loose in this game.
And they have to keep that in mind. Don't dwell on the fact that he finally had a big run. You kind of are counting on that as the game went on. Get back to what you were doing before and start limiting him again.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
God, he'll hand this off. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a short gain here down to the 22. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. They'll try to run this one right up the gut. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, it's hard to put your finger on whether this is something to celebrate or something maybe the offense is embarrassed by, but that's now 6 field goals he's made in this game alone.
Yeah, he's bailed them out quite a bit so far, but it's very comforting to know that you have a kicker that's got your back.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Well, that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. They'll look to throw again. Got a man and he hits him in stride. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Here now, 2nd and 4. Back to throw again. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They bring their punter out there now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for Chicago, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first win of the season here in Week 4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Chicago, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.